The Titans had fallen. Cronus was imprisoned in the depths of Tartarus. Zeus now ruled the heavens from the shining peaks of Mount Olympus, while Poseidon governed the seas and Hades watched over the underworld. A new age had begun. The Olympian gods had established order across the cosmos, but one important question remained. Who would inhabit the world below? The mountains stood silent. The rivers flowed untouched. The forests stretched endlessly without footsteps. The earth was beautiful, but it was empty. It needed beings capable of thought, imagination, hope, and ambition. It needed humanity. Yet the story of mankind would not begin with Zeus. It would begin with a Titan, one whose compassion for mortals would forever change the fate of both gods and humans. His name was Prometheus, the Titan who loved humanity. Unlike many of the Titans who fought against Zeus, Prometheus was known for his wisdom rather than his strength. His name meant forethought, because he always thought far ahead before acting. During the Great Titan War, Prometheus chose not to stand beside Cronus. Instead, he supported Zeus, believing the young Olympian would bring a better future. After the war ended, Zeus rewarded Prometheus with freedom and respect. But Prometheus soon turned his attention toward the empty world below. Looking across valleys, forests, rivers, and mountains, he imagined creatures capable of building cities, creating music, asking questions, and telling stories. He believed the earth deserved more than silence. The creation of humanity. Prometheus knelt beside the banks of a quiet river. He gathered soft clay from the earth. Carefully, he began shaping figures that resembled the gods themselves. He sculpted hands that could build, eyes that could wonder, hearts that could feel compassion, minds capable of learning. When the figures were complete, the goddess Athena approached. Athena admired Prometheus's work. She breathed the gift of life into the clay. One by one, the figures opened their eyes. The first humans took their first breaths. They stood uncertainly beneath the open sky, amazed by the world around them. They were weak. They possessed no claws, no fangs, no thick fur to protect them from winter. Yet they possessed something greater: curiosity, the ability to learn, the determination to improve. Prometheus believed these gifts would one day allow humanity to accomplish extraordinary things, life without fire. Although humans were alive, survival proved difficult. Night brought freezing cold. Darkness hid dangerous predators. Food spoiled quickly. Raw meat was difficult to eat. Metals remained trapped inside stone because no fire could melt them. People feared every sunset. Without light, they could not see. Without warmth, they struggled through winter. Without tools, progress was impossible. The gods possessed fire upon Mount Olympus. Its flames illuminated their halls and fueled their divine forges. But Zeus declared that fire belonged only to the gods. Humanity would have to survive without it. Prometheus watched the suffering of mankind. Each day, his heart grew heavier. Prometheus defies Zeus. Prometheus believed wisdom should never be hidden. He argued that humans deserved the chance to grow. Zeus refused. He feared that if humans gained too much power, they might one day challenge the gods themselves. Prometheus could not accept that decision. Late one night, while Olympus slept beneath a blanket of stars, Prometheus quietly climbed toward the sacred fires. Moving carefully through the divine halls, he reached the eternal flame. Using the hollow stalk of a giant fennel plant, he stole a glowing ember. Hidden inside the plant, the fire remained alive. Prometheus descended the mountain before dawn. He carried the divine flame back to humanity, the gift that changed civilization. When Prometheus presented fire to humans, everything changed. Darkness retreated before glowing campfires. Families gathered together beneath the stars. Food became safer to eat. Metalworkers learned to shape bronze and iron. Pottery hardened inside blazing kilns. People built stronger homes. They created tools, weapons, art, music. Civilizations slowly began to rise. The gift of fire represented more than warmth. It symbolized knowledge, innovation, progress. For the first time, humanity began shaping its own destiny. Zeus's furious wrath. Nothing escaped Zeus's attention. When he discovered that Prometheus had stolen divine fire, his anger shook Mount Olympus. Lightning split the heavens. Thunder echoed across the world. Prometheus had broken the king's command. If humans continued advancing, Zeus feared they would become too powerful. He decided that both Prometheus and humanity would pay the price. The punishment of Prometheus. Zeus ordered his servants to capture Prometheus. The Titan offered no resistance. He accepted his fate. The divine blacksmith Hephaestus reluctantly forged unbreakable chains. Prometheus was taken to a lonely mountain where the winds never rested. There he was chained to a massive cliff. Every morning an enormous eagle descended from the sky. The bird tore into Prometheus's side and consumed part of his liver. Because Prometheus was immortal, the wound healed each night. Every sunrise the eagle returned. The punishment repeated endlessly. Pain without death, hope without freedom. Yet Prometheus never regretted helping humanity. He believed some sacrifices were worth making. Zeus creates Pandora. Prometheus had been punished, but Zeus believed humanity itself also deserved suffering. He ordered Hephaestus to mold a beautiful woman from clay. The gods gathered to give her extraordinary gifts. Athena taught her weaving and wisdom. Aphrodite blessed her with incredible beauty. Hermes granted charm and persuasive speech. The Hours dressed her in magnificent robes. The Graces adorned her with shining jewelry. When every gift had been given, Zeus named her Pandora. Her name meant all-gifted. She was beautiful beyond imagination. Yet Zeus had another purpose for her creation, the mysterious jar. Before Pandora left Olympus, Zeus handed her a sealed jar. He gave only one instruction: never open it, no matter what happened. Pandora accepted the gift, but curiosity slowly grew inside her heart. She wondered what could possibly be hidden inside. Days passed, weeks passed. The temptation became impossible to ignore. One quiet moment, Pandora lifted the lid. Immediately, darkness burst into the air. Disease, sorrow, pain, greed, envy, hatred, war, old age, fear. They escaped into the world like invisible storms. Pandora desperately tried to close the jar, but it was too late. Humanity would never again live without suffering. The last thing left inside. As Pandora wept, she heard a gentle voice from within the jar. She carefully opened it once more. One final spirit remained: hope. Although every hardship had entered the world, hope stayed with humanity. It reminded people to keep moving forward, to rebuild after disasters, to love after heartbreak, to dream after failure. For the ancient Greeks, hope became the light that survives even in the darkest times. The ages of humanity. The Greeks believed humanity passed through several great ages. The first was the Golden Age. People lived peacefully without hunger or war. Then came the Silver Age. Humans became proud and ignored the gods. Next came the Bronze Age. Warriors filled the world. Violence became common. After that came the Heroic Age. This was the time of legendary heroes like Perseus, Heracles, Jason, Achilles, and Odysseus. Finally came the Iron Age, the age of struggle, an age filled with hard work, conflict, injustice, and uncertainty. According to the ancient Greeks, this was the age in which they themselves lived. The legacy of Prometheus. Though chained to the mountain, Prometheus became a symbol of sacrifice. He represented the courage to help others, despite terrible consequences. Fire became the symbol of knowledge, learning, discovery, and human progress. Every invention, every work of art, every scientific breakthrough, every civilization In a way, they all began with the small flame Prometheus carried down from Olympus. The world was no longer empty. Humanity had been created. Fire had changed civilization forever. Hope had survived the release of every evil. Yet even greater adventures were waiting. Soon, monsters would emerge from distant lands. Heroes would rise to challenge impossible odds. The Olympian gods would interfere in mortal lives once again, and the greatest legends of Greek mythology were about to begin. The Titan War had ended. Cronus and the Titans were imprisoned deep within Tartarus. Prometheus had given fire to humanity. Pandora had released suffering into the world. Now the universe entered a new era. High above the clouds stood Mount Olympus, the magnificent home of the gods. Here, 12 powerful deities ruled every aspect of existence: the sky, the sea, love, wisdom, war, the harvest, the hunt, the forge. Nothing happened in the mortal world without the influence of the Olympians. But while the gods celebrated their victory, an ancient terror was quietly growing beneath the earth. A monster so powerful that even Zeus would struggle to defeat it. Before that battle, however, we must first meet the rulers of Olympus. Zeus, king of the gods. At the center of Olympus stood Zeus. Tall, powerful, and commanding, Zeus ruled the heavens with unmatched authority. His symbol was the thunderbolt, forged by the Cyclopes during the Titan War. With a single strike, he could split mountains, ignite forests, or summon storms across the entire world. Zeus was not only the god of the sky, but also the guardian of justice, law, hospitality, and order. Kings prayed to him before battle. Travelers asked for his protection. Judges invoked his name when seeking fairness. Yet Zeus was far from perfect. He was famous for his countless romances, with both goddesses and mortal women. These relationships would produce many of the greatest heroes in Greek mythology, including Perseus and Heracles. But they also created jealousy, conflict, and endless drama among the gods. No one felt this more deeply than his wife, Hera, queen of Olympus. Hera, sister and wife of Zeus, ruled as queen of the gods. She was the goddess of marriage, family, and childbirth. To faithful husbands and wives, Hera offered blessings. To those who betrayed their vows, she could become relentless. Her greatest sorrow came from Zeus's many affairs. Again and again, Hera watched her husband fall in love with others. Unable to punish Zeus directly, she often turned her anger toward his lovers and children. Many heroes would spend their lives trying to escape Hera's wrath. Despite this, Hera remained one of the most respected and powerful Olympians. Even Zeus treated her with caution. Poseidon, lord of the seas. Far below, Olympus stretched the endless oceans. There ruled Poseidon. With his mighty trident, he commanded every wave, every storm, and every sea creature. Sailors prayed to him before every voyage. A calm sea meant Poseidon was pleased. A violent storm meant he was angry. Poseidon also ruled earthquakes. The Greeks believed that whenever the earth shook, Poseidon had struck the ground with his trident. His palace lay beneath the sea, surrounded by dolphins, seahorses, and magnificent coral halls. Although often calm, Poseidon's temper could be as violent as the storms he created. Hades, king of the underworld. Unlike his brothers, Hades rarely visited Olympus. He ruled the underworld, where every mortal soul eventually arrived. Many people mistakenly believed Hades represented evil. In truth, he was simply the ruler of the dead. His responsibility was to maintain balance. No soul could escape without permission. His kingdom contained rivers unlike any found on earth. The river Styx, the river Lethe, the river Acheron. Each carried souls deeper into the realm of the dead. Beside Hades stood his loyal companion, Cerberus. The enormous three-headed dog guarded the entrance to the underworld, ensuring no soul escaped. Athena, goddess of wisdom. Athena was unlike any other goddess. She was not born in the usual way. One day Zeus experienced unbearable pain inside his head. Hephaestus struck Zeus's skull open with a mighty axe. From the opening emerged Athena, fully grown, wearing shining armor and carrying a spear. She became the goddess of wisdom, strategy, justice, and craftsmanship. Unlike Ares, who loved violence, Athena valued intelligence. She believed wars should be won through planning rather than rage. Heroes often sought her guidance before dangerous quests. The city of Athens proudly carried her name. Ares, god of war. If Athena represented discipline, Ares represented chaos. He loved battle for its own sake, the sound of clashing swords, the roar of charging armies, the thrill of combat. Even many of the gods disliked Ares because of his reckless nature. Yet warriors still prayed to him before entering battle. Wherever wars erupted, Ares was never far away. Apollo, god of light. Apollo became one of the most admired Olympians. He ruled music, poetry, medicine, archery, truth, and the sun's radiant light. His golden chariot carried the sunlight across the heavens each day. Artists honored him. Musicians praised him. Doctors asked for his healing power. His oracle at Delphi became the most famous place of prophecy in the ancient world. Kings traveled great distances seeking Apollo's wisdom. Artemis, goddess of the hunt. Apollo's twin sister was Artemis. She ruled the wilderness, forests, wild animals, the moon. She carried a silver bow and never missed her target. Unlike many Olympians, Artemis chose never to marry. She valued freedom above all else. Hunters prayed for success. Animals found protection under her watch. Anyone who disrespected nature risked her anger. Aphrodite, goddess of love. Long ago, after Uranus was defeated, sea foam gave birth to Aphrodite. She emerged from the ocean more beautiful than anyone had ever seen. Wherever she walked, flowers bloomed. Her smile could end wars. Her beauty could begin them. She ruled love, beauty, desire, and passion. Even the gods themselves were not immune to Aphrodite's influence. Many of Greek mythology's greatest conflicts began because of love. Hermes, messenger of the gods. No god moved faster than Hermes. With winged sandals and a winged helmet, he carried messages across the heavens. He guided travelers, protected merchants, helped clever thieves, and escorted souls safely into the underworld. Hermes was famous for his intelligence and quick thinking. Many myths describe him solving impossible problems through wit rather than strength. Hephaestus, master of the forge. Hephaestus was the divine blacksmith. Inside his volcanic workshop, he forged the greatest weapons and treasures of mythology. Zeus's thunderbolts, Achilles' armor, the shield of Heracles. Countless magical creations came from his forge. Though often overlooked because of his physical disability, Hephaestus proved that skill and determination could surpass beauty and strength. Demeter, goddess of the harvest, Demeter ruled agriculture. Without her blessings, crops failed. Without harvests, humanity starved. She taught people how to farm, plant grain, harvest wheat, store food for winter. Every successful harvest became a celebration of Demeter's generosity. Her greatest story, however, would begin when her beloved daughter disappeared. While the Olympians ruled peacefully, Gaia grew angry once again. She believed Zeus had treated the Titans too harshly. Seeking revenge, Gaia united with Tartarus. From their union came the most terrifying monster ever born, Typhon. His body towered higher than mountains. His arms stretched across valleys. His eyes burned like fire. From his shoulders rose 100 dragon heads. His wings covered the sky. His footsteps shook the earth. Even the strongest gods trembled. When Typhon marched toward Olympus, panic spread among the gods. Many fled to Egypt. Only Zeus remained to defend the heavens. The king of the gods raised his thunderbolt. The greatest battle since the Titan War had begun. The battle of Zeus and Typhon lightning crashed continuously across the sky. Zeus hurled thunderbolts with incredible force. Typhon answered by throwing entire mountains. The seas erupted. Volcanoes exploded. The earth itself seemed ready to collapse. For a moment, Typhon gained the advantage. Some stories say he even managed to wound Zeus. The future of Olympus hung in the balance. Summoning every ounce of his strength, Zeus unleashed a storm, unlike any before. Bolt after bolt struck Typhon. Finally, Zeus hurled one last thunderbolt with overwhelming power. Typhon fell. To ensure he could never rise again, Zeus buried the monster beneath Mount Etna in Sicily. The ancient Greeks believed that whenever Mount Etna erupted, it was Typhon struggling beneath the mountain. With Typhon defeated, Zeus secured his place as the undisputed ruler of gods and men. Olympus stood stronger than ever. Human civilization continued to grow, and legends would spread across the ancient world. The greatest age of adventure was about to begin.